In today's episode, we travel back to the segregated south of Atlanta, Georgia, 1953. What kind of world would we live in today without the influence of Martin Luther King Jr.? This question prompts us to reflect on the profound impact of a man who, with his words and actions, transformed the fabric of American society and beyond. A man who stood at the forefront of the civil rights movement, advocating for equality and justice in the face of systemic racism and prejudice. Martin Luther King Jr. was not merely a figurehead. He was an agent of change. His activism was instrumental in prompting social and legal changes that would forever alter the landscape of the United States. His commitment to the pursuit of equality brought about the end of racial segregation, a deeply entrenched aspect of American society that had persisted for centuries. Imagine a world where schools, restaurants, and public transportation are still divided along racial lines. A world where opportunities and rights are not afforded equally to all citizens. This was the reality that King sought to change, and change he did. His efforts culminated in the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which outlawed discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. But King's influence extended beyond the realm of legal and policy changes. He sparked a shift in societal attitudes, challenging the prejudices and biases that had long been normalized. His powerful speeches and peaceful protests resonated with people across the nation, prompting them to question their own beliefs and actions. King's role in the civil rights movement was a testament to the power of peaceful resistance and the strength of a shared vision. A vision of a society where people are judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Indeed, the world as we know it would have been dramatically different without the tireless efforts of Martin Luther King Jr. His legacy serves as a reminder of the transformative power of a single individual and the enduring fight for equality and justice. It is a reminder of the role each of us can play in shaping the world we live in. Have you ever wondered about the power behind the words, "I have a dream"? This phrase echoes through the annals of history, a beacon of hope and determination that came from the heart of Martin Luther King Jr. during the historic March on Washington in 1963. It wasn't just a speech, it was a call to action, a plea for justice and a vision of a future where the color of one's skin would not determine their worth. I Have a Dream is not just a collection of words delivered on a hot summer day. It was a masterclass in the power of rhetoric, carefully crafted to touch the heart and stir the conscience of a nation. Each phrase, each sentence was meticulously chosen to convey the urgency of the civil rights movement, the injustice of racial segregation, and the enduring hope for a better tomorrow. King's dream was not just his own. It was the collective dream of millions of African Americans who yearned for equality and justice. It was a vision of a society where little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. This dream, painted in vibrant strokes of oratory genius, became a rallying cry for the civil rights movement and propelled it forward with renewed vigor. But the power of King's dream extended beyond the borders of the United States. It resonated with oppressed people worldwide, inspiring them to fight for their rights, their dignity, and their freedom. His dream transcended race, ethnicity, and nationality, embodying the universal quest for human rights. The influence of the "I Have a Dream" speech cannot be overstated. It marked a turning point in American history, fueling the momentum of the civil rights movement and bringing the harsh reality of racial injustice to the forefront of national consciousness. The "I Have a Dream" speech remains as one of the most influential speeches in human history, shaping the course of the civil rights movement. It served as a testament to the power of a dream, reminding us that when we dare to dream, we can change the world. What if we told you that one of the most significant societal changes was achieved through nonviolent resistance? A concept that might seem counterintuitive, yet it was the cornerstone of Martin Luther King Jr.'s philosophy. King's belief in nonviolent resistance was deeply rooted in his Christian faith and influenced by Mahatma Gandhi's nonviolent activism. King's philosophy was not about passive acceptance of injustice. Instead, it was about active opposition to it without resorting to violence. His philosophy was strategic, aimed at creating a moral crisis for the oppressor, forcing them to confront their own unjust actions. It was a philosophy that emphasized love and understanding, seeking to win the hearts of the oppressors rather than merely defeating them. This philosophy of nonviolent resistance became the guiding principle of the civil rights movement, shaping its tactics and strategies. It was a philosophy that demanded courage and resilience, and it was this philosophy that enabled the movement to endure. Martin Luther King Jr.'s commitment to nonviolence not only defined his leadership, but also the entire civil rights movement. Even heroes face opposition. What were the challenges that Martin Luther King Jr. encountered in his pursuit of equality? As a prominent figure in the civil rights movement, King was not without adversaries. His philosophy of non-violent resistance was met with hostility and violence from those who opposed the idea of racial equality. Arrested over 20 times, King faced legal challenges that sought to silence his voice. Beyond the prison bars, the Federal Bureau of Investigation saw King as a potential threat to national security. Under the leadership of J. Edgar Hoover, the FBI conducted extensive surveillance on King. They hoped to undermine his influence by exposing alleged associations with communists and personal indiscretions. Yet these challenges did not deter King. His conviction was as unwavering as his dream of a harmonious society. He continued to lead, to speak, and to inspire, undeterred by the threats and intimidation he faced. Despite the numerous challenges, King remained steadfast, his resolve unbroken. Scene script. Martin Luther King Jr. was not just a national hero, but a global icon. But what made him so? Martin Luther King Jr. was more than just a champion for racial equality in the United States. His impact was felt worldwide as his activism played a significant role in the global struggle for human rights. King's work inspired activists in all corners of the globe, from South Africa's anti-apartheid movement to India's fight for independence. King's leadership style was a crucial element in the success of the civil rights movement. He was an eloquent communicator, able to articulate the struggles of African Americans in a way that touched the hearts of people far beyond the borders of the United States. His speeches were not just powerful calls to action, they were poetic expressions of a deep-seated desire for justice and equality. Moreover, King's strategic use of nonviolence was a game-changer. He drew inspiration from Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy of peaceful resistance, demonstrating to the world that it was possible to achieve monumental change without resorting to violence. This approach garnered international attention and respect, and it has since been adopted by countless movements worldwide. King's commitment to nonviolence was not merely a strategic choice, it was a deeply held belief. He believed in the inherent dignity of all people, and he was convinced that nonviolent resistance was the most ethical and effective way to bring about social change. It was this conviction that earned him the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964, further cementing his status as a global icon. King's ability to inspire, to communicate, and to lead with integrity and courage made him a beacon of hope for those fighting against injustice worldwide. His message was universal. All people, regardless of race, religion, or nationality, deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. King's influence transcended borders, his message of equality resonating across the globe. His legacy continues to inspire and guide those who strive for a more just and equitable world. Indeed, Martin Luther King Jr. was not just a national hero, but a global icon, a symbol of the enduring fight for human rights. What does it mean to leave a legacy? Martin Luther King Jr. left us more than just memories. He left us a dream, a vision of a world where people are not judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. This vision, articulated so powerfully in his "I Have a Dream" speech, continues to reverberate across the world, inspiring generations to strive for equality and justice. King's legacy is not confined to the past. It is a living, breathing force that continues to shape contemporary social justice movements. His teachings of nonviolent resistance have been adopted by activists across the globe, from the fight for democracy in Hong Kong To the Black Lives Matter movement in the United States, his words echo in their chants, his spirit fuels their resolve. The power of King's legacy is also evident in the annual celebration of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. This day is more than a holiday, it's a day of reflection, a day to honor King's contributions to American history and the global struggle for human rights. It's a day to recommit to the dream of equality he so passionately advocated for. The significance of Martin Luther King Jr. Day is not merely symbolic, it's a testament to the enduring impact of King's activism. It's an affirmation that his dream is still alive, still worth fighting for. It's a call to action, a reminder that the struggle for equality is far from over. In the words of King himself, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice." His life and work were testament to this belief. He dedicated his life to bending that arc, to bringing us closer to a world where justice is not just a dream, but a reality. Even today, Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy lives on, his dream a beacon of hope and equality for all. Before we wrap up, let's take a moment to reflect. How can we engage with King's legacy in our own lives? How can we help bend that arc towards justice? We can start by educating ourselves, by learning about the struggles that still exist, and by understanding the power of nonviolent resistance. We can honor King's legacy by standing up against injustice, by speaking out when we see inequality, and by treating everyone we meet with respect and dignity. We can strive to make King's dream a reality in our own lives, in our own communities. This is not just a responsibility, it's a privilege. We have the opportunity to be part of a movement, to contribute to a cause that is greater than ourselves. We can make a difference, one act of kindness at a time. So let's not just celebrate King's legacy, let's live it. Let's make the dream of equality a reality. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content. Your engagement helps us create more content that inspires and educates. It's an easy way to contribute to the conversation, to be a part of the movement. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more. Together, we can keep the dream alive.